So in this video I wanted to go over what is kind of the most difficult and labor intensive part of the Nexus 7 install in a Acura TL. What I did is first I took apart the navigation system, which is this guy right here. On top of this circuit board is where the OEM screen was. So first you take apart this, you unplug all those connectors there. Pretty simple, and then you can just basically get that guy out of the way. And then to this guy, you have just the outside main bracket, which is right there, and that's the navigation board. So you do need to keep these circuit boards in the car, otherwise your navigation brain and clock, they all won't link together or work together. So you got to keep those together. You have to modify this metal bracket. So you see I bent out some tabs there. I cut off this side here, I cut off this side there. Just kind of little things here and there to make sure it fits with the Nexus 7. I also cut right here for access to the power button when it's installed. And then kind of the biggest thing you need to do is you need to Dremel out this AC side over here. It's where you have all the navigation, bezel, and you have all the AC modes there. But basically you need to bezel out the mode and the AC button here. And the reason you need to do this is because when the Nexus 7 sits in the 2013 Nexus, you can't rearrange the USB port for the power, so you can't move that from the circuit board in the Nexus 7. So you need to make sure this space is dremeled out for the cord, and I'll show you that real quick. But this is kind of the biggest thing you have to do, is you have to really go in there and Dremel out really deep. And the reason you gotta do that is for the power cord to sit inside there. So when the Nexus 7 is sitting in there, you can see the power cord is right here, or the power port is right there, and the cord will go way into there. So you need to do that. There's no way around it, unless you can find a cord that comes 90 degrees up and then over, but I've yet to find that. Moving over to the cords themselves, the reason why there's not a lot of options is because you need to have one that gives enough charge to the Nexus 7. If you don't have the right charging capability, then your tablet will just continuously drain as you use it in the car. So there's very specific cords you have to use, and they're all on the website I'll post up. But the first one I went through was a standard 90-degree one, which is this guy right here. Sorry, this one. And I used this one first because, as you can see, the cords are very thick. But when I bent this 90-degree out, I took away the plastic rubber here, or the rubber that was here. You can see some of the cords, or some of the connections, they came apart as you bend it in this 90-degree turn right here. So that was kind of a big issue. So buy an extra couple cords, because you're going to go through issues. Some stuff might happen along the way. The one I ended up going with was this guy, and the first time I did it, which is this one, I took away all the silicone molding that was around the connectors, and what that did is it allowed it to be, sorry, wrong one. It took away all the molding around the wire connectors, and as you can see, this little tiny areas here, that's where I actually bent it upon itself to make the bend, and it actually broke very easily. Those things are very weak connections, so I had to order a new cable, and that's why my install was delayed a little bit. But I did order another one, and in comparison, you see this one I didn't take off the rubber, I just trimmed it a little bit, and that allows a deeper pocket into the buttons needing to be cut. But you only bend at the cords now, you're not bending it at these small little metal tabs here, which very easily break. So now those are still all inside of here, are very secure. So now you bend at the wires. So real quick, I'll plug this in to show you how tight the spacing is. So now when you go to install this Nexus tablet, you have to bend this cord around. It's nice to see the bend is that the wire is there, and now it just kind of slides into that area. So now I have the Nexus 7 fully in there. And as you can see, you need a deep port into there to really make this be able to bend around that corner. So that's kind of a difficult part. You just Dremel a lot. Once you get in there and start dremeling it, you'll know what I mean. You can't really damage too much in there as long as you don't go crazy with it. And then when you plug in the other side, over here. You got a nice fit Nexus in there. It fits almost perfect. A couple more things you need to Dremel is you need to Dremel all along here, these little standoff supports. You Dremel those down flat. You need to Dremel down this side right here so the AC buttons can fit and the tablet can fit together. You need to Dremel down all this side, Dremel up here in the top, and then as you can see, you need to Dremel that whole side, and that's because the edges of the Nexus 7 tablet fit right here. So to get a good flush fit with the OEM bezel, you need to really shave down those sides so that you get a good frame and a good consistent flat level. That way there's no gaps when the Nexus 7 is sitting on the front on the bezel, and everything should work out pretty nice. My next steps here are to put in the Nexus 7, and then I'm going to use some molding putty to lock everything in place, which is just this stuff that's recommended on Amazon. There's 2 tubes of putty, and I just put them together. It makes a real hard kind of gasket. Hopefully I can put the Nexus 7 in there, mold the putty around it, and it should be a pretty robust fit. When you do want to get the tablet back in there, let's see, let's put this in there real quick. So when you have the tablet back in there, this guy will just kind of go on top. So that guy goes on there. And then that guy will go on top. So now this is how it's going to go into your car back almost normal. So not too bad. There's a lot of modifications you need to do, but nothing too crazy. Yeah, it's a very tight fit, and as you can see, the brackets line up pretty close there. So once I get the Nexus 7 molded in, I'll probably bend these tabs here so that I can get a good solid, support whenever I push the tablet. But with this circuit board behind it and with the putty around it, I don't think there'd be much force from my fingers to push the tablet away. So I think that should pretty much wrap up the install. Hopefully that's helpful. Let me know if you have any questions.